people are really gonna watch this?
They ain't got nothing else to do.
Right?
Word.
I ain't going on social media talking shit about TDS Radio. I know that much.
My man, Coach Block.
What's up, cuz? How we living?
You're rocking with TDS Radio.
Get it, Kim. All right. She got a vision, and she wants us to execute this vision.
Ooh, man. That's what TDS is about today.
Ken and Kim are the two dopest siblings that I know.
All right, man. You ready?
Am I ready? Are they ready? What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio. And I am with...
Your girl so fab. Hey, y'all.
And if you notice that I'm a little bit tender red, it's because I was in the sun cutting grass.
Yeah.
Looks kind of crazy. I think if I took this hat off, it would look even worse. But, it's to prevent arguments at the crib.
That's how we're going to start the show.
Yeah, it is. You know why? Because people who don't deal in the teaching world ask you questions like, what did you do today? Excuse me. I'm on summer vacation. I have not specifically.
People only get asked that when they're mad because they had to go to
work. What did you do today? I vacated. I have yet to get a chance to say that. So I had to cut the grass because that was crazy. If I wouldn't have cut the grass before I came out here and went back home, I would have this face. What's wrong? Nothing. What did you do today? So I made sure I cut the grass and made sure the crib was tidy, smelling good. So I don't get, What did you do today? Like,
not the slow head tilt.
Yeah.
People only ask that when they got to go to work and they're pissed. Like,
And it's okay. I get it. I used to say that to my ex. Oh, what you need a summer break for? All you do is teach. It's kids.
Now look at you.
Fast forward.
Karma came at that ass
fast forward. My soul is tired. Lord Jesus, I hate dealing with this every single day. Well, maybe she talked to me, I'd apologize. But she doesn't talk to me, so oh well.
That's not so. How was your weekend? How was your Father's Day?
Oh, Father's Day was cool. These are comments that I can't see.
Hey. Was good. Hi, baby. So how was the beach going? I've been waiting all week in here about your Father's Day trip.
Oh, okay. So I bet y'all. I said I guarantee I'd have a story when, yeah. So I don't know if this constitutes. I told Kim, what I told you, does that constitute as a story?
I guess so.
Oh,
I mean, I'm pretty sure people can empathize with the fact of what you experience. I know I can.
All right. So let's go. Well, I was supposed to go to, we went to the beach and we went to a hotel, the Embassy Suites. All right. Well, I had the luxury of having Yara's grandmother, Lisa Anderson, take her for the weekend so we could chill. Clearly, the other women who did this for their husbands did not think the same thing, because when we got there was nothing but children, other people's children, and they were aggravating as hell. They wouldn't sit still. They had a happy hour for specifically the adults, but the kids were there. You got free drinks, but then you had to see kids. Now, who wants to see kids while I'm drinking? I didn't want to see kids while I was drinking. I knew I'd have a story.
Mm-hmm.
Then the morning you had a buffet.
Right.
There was a kid stirring grits in the buffet and looking at me like this.
Hey, Tati, I see you watching Girl.
I had to tell him, move the hell out the way so I can get to the grits. He's just looking at me like, you want some grits, fat guy? I'm like, move.
Because you did want grits.
Of course. Who doesn't want grits? Whatever you like, sugar or salt, but who doesn't want grits?
Sugar is a crime, but okay, continue.
Yeah, you don't put sugar on grits, but some people do.
Disgusting.
It isn't.
Just eat cream of wheat.
Then they gave you my first sippy cup size cups of juice. When I tell you it was no more than a 6-ounce cup of juice, 6. So you know me, innovative. I went to go where they got the coffee cups, the portable coffee cups, disposable, and filled mine up with 2 things. I'm gonna sit down.
No,
with
that's
that.
right.
Then they held the bacon hostage because clearly people don't know how to because kids,
Yes.
they don't know how to evenly proportion bacon on their plate.
Yeah,
so
get
I
right.
looked,
2 or 3
because you
slices.
know me, where's the bacon? I'm here, it's all you can eat. The first thing I need, bacon. So I seen the bacon was behind glass. God damn. And you couldn't even reach around to get the bacon. So how am I supposed to get this bacon? So then you got to ask the omelet dude.
The omelet?
Because you was getting fresh omelets, but we'll talk about the omelet in a second.
Okay.
So you got to ask omelet dude to get you a couple of pieces of bacon, and then he act like you asked for gold because he's like 1, 2, 3. Put some bacon on this damn
How much
place.
bacon do you want?
As much bacon as I need to. I don't want bacon. Now that bacon makes me have to come back and ask you for more bacon.
Eat your 3 slices. That should suffice. That's why they had it locked down, because the niggas like you.
Nobody want no 3 slices of no damn bacon. I want bacon. If I want bacon, because I would have made a biscuit or a bagel and had, my bacon.
How many slices do you need?
3 raggedy ass slices of bacon ain't it. Especially for this is the Embassy Suites. We paid for every strip, packs.
No,
Now,
I'll let you continue.
Now, then I asked for an omelet. All right, an omelet. He took and poured some egg white and then slid this thin coating of. So I looked down. That ain't no omelet. That's paper. And then he put your little fillings in there, but it was
Thin.
super thin.
Your expectations have been high ever since Jamaica. I don't think anyone's going to meet those.
So then, the first morning I went over and I looked at the pineapple and it wasn't ready. So I was like, oh man, no pineapple? No pineapple. Then they had melon. And of course, nobody eats that.
No.
And then they had Dannon yogurt.
Oh no.
That was
because
not
it's cheap.
That was not for people of color. Even though I love yogurt.
Is Dannon yogurt not meant for black people?
All right. Those who are watching and you. How many times have you gone over a friend's house and seen Dannon's yogurt? I've only seen it in my white friends' cabinets or refrigerators, and it was usually next to some grapes.
That's oddly specific.
I could use the kid's name. I'm like, what's yogurt? Because we ain't never have yogurt in our refrigerator. And then I heard, you ain't gonna eat it no way. We ain't getting no damn yogurt.
Well, that was because of me, because I would waste the Trix one. I would ask for it. I'm like, this is nasty.
Crazy work. So yogurt, what's that? Like, yeah. Oh, we have comments. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so all right. So we weren't happy because the bacon was on lock. And then
we got better. We got better
hour.
than kids at happy hour. I'm giving you the time. Nigga, if you don't put like 8 that's what I'm saying. Like
pieces of bacon.
Yo, that's what I mean. Like heavy on the bacon, my yo play. That's it, right? They had Dannon. Ain't no damn Dannon. Dannon, I think, is at the Dollar Tree.
To those of you watching on Instagram, how do y'all feel about Dannon yogurt?
I ain't want no damn Dannon. Now, Like I said, how many people have you ever looked at? They have Dannon yogurt. Never.
Isn't that kids yogurt though?
No, it's adult size.
Oh.
I mean, adult yogurt. So, anyway. And it's not to be ungrateful for the breakfast. The idea of the breakfast was cool because what was good, of course, you know me, I'm always looking for a potato.
Mm-hmm.
Potato was hitting on the first batch. Second batch, not too much. But the first batch was hitting because it was hot. I caught it when it was hot.
Mm-hmm.
They had French toast that Chiquita seemed to like. Not a big French toast person. I'm not a big bread person in the morning because it swells you up. Like a bagel, and then if I would have had a bagel with some bacon, then that would have been it. I wouldn't have eaten anything else. But, it was one of them things that take the bacon through the toaster and then it flips down. I'm like, who feels like doing all that this morning? So never mind. I'm not cutting no bacon. Then they had the bagel. Then they had your little stuff. Okay, so then now enter kids again. Everybody's around the fucking cereal. And nobody's telling their kids to move. Cereal's hitting the counter. Kids is touching it, eating it, then going back and touching things again.
This is why I don't do buffets.
Kids, what do you want? Like, I'm like, why are y'all here, yo? So then, okay, that, that's the morning time, right? So then in the afternoon from 5:30 to 7:30, you can go get free drinks downstairs, right? So then you go, just show them your card, you get free drinks. So we're in line for the free drinks. And then on the right-hand side was some cheese, crackers, and some other stuff over there. Did not enjoy the crackers. For whatever reason, these were some dry-ass crackers. Now, Chiquita loved the crackers. Me, I'm like, trying to swallow them. Couldn't get them down. I'm like, these crackers are gross. But the cheese was good. Now, me and cheese. Let's not go too far from the chill. So we drink a couple drinks, and then we noticed that there was like a lot of kids, man. So we got bougie and said, well, can we go take our drinks to the restaurant?
As you should.
And they said, yeah. So we sat at the restaurant. Well, first, before we went, Chiquita found a very nice drink that they were offering that was supposed to be a manager special. Well, here's where the Embassy Suites gets hood. Because the lady serving the drinks where the free people was at with the kids, because the kids didn't cross over into the restaurant. The kids stayed out there where it was free. Because clearly we were all on the same budget plan at that time. But then I know Chiquita still, after a while, it's like, I don't want to be around all these people and these kids. Okay, so cool, let's go. But it was a nice drink. It had elderflower in it. It had cherry liqueur. It was a bomb drink. So we went to go ask the lady who was serving the free drinks, well, can you make this? Because it says this is the manager's special. This is the manager's happy hour. She goes, yeah, I can't make that. Matter of fact, I'm not supposed to be serving alcohol. I do breakfast.
Wait a minute.
Well, wait a minute. All this shit is illegal in the embassy. How in the hell are you serving us drinks?
Right.
And you ain't supposed to be serving us drinks. So she sent us to She sent us to the bar. So we go to the bar and we meet young Jewel. Jewel, you were awesome. Jewel, I don't know if you'll ever come across this. Maybe I should have talked to you about TDS Radio. So you can watch it.
Leave a 5-star review.
Jewel
just for her
made the drink that was on. She said, first of all, I don't know where y'all got this from. We were like, the table. She was like, yeah, those shouldn't be out there.
Yikes.
We were like, well, can you make it? She was like, sure, I'll try. And Jewel tried. And when I tell you it was a grand slam, it was a grand slam.
Oh, all right. Well, Jewel.
So Jewel brought us back. So we had 2 of those and we had some soup, some blue crab chowder. Soup was amazing. Drinks were amazing. Atmosphere was a lot better. You can tell that this was the not free drink section. Everybody, and they made it clear when we came through. You got to pay when you come here.
Absolutely.
Okay, damn.
Got it.
Damn. Only people that was there was a dude that was suffering with his daughter and his 2 kids, 2 girls and his wife, because they wanted some damn ice cream to go along with their raspberry cake. And it seemed to take forever for them to get that. Once again, people were understaffed. So me and Chiquita drink, have our soup, and it's like, oh, it's getting later. And the lady goes, well, Jewel, well, there's a live band upstairs. You should go check it out. Oh, a rooftop? Yeah, it's a whole rooftop thing, you know, and tomorrow you guys should try to catch the sunset from there because the sunset from there is beautiful. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Jewel. You did us right here. it should be cool. So it was a dude named Scott and Jewel that were great behind the bar. We enjoyed them a lot. We go upstairs to the bar, rooftop bar. The dude asked me, "Yo, you got your ID?" I said, "Man, look at this hairline. Does it look like I need an ID?" Straight up, like I straight up said that is not a joke. I'm like, bro, look at this hairline. You really gonna ask me for ID? He just started laughing, like, they tell me to. I'm like, man, 1981, 4/30, 1981. I'm good. I promise you. I'm not going to my room for. And so Chiquita, as typical Chiquita, she just keeps walking as if I didn't get asked for ID too, because she had hers. So I'm like, she's gone. He just started laughing. So I'm walking behind her, and then, we noticed there's not a lot of places to sit because it was packed, because the live band was doing a great job. Only for their area that we sat down in to have more kids. Now this dude has his kid at the damn rooftop bar with the live band. And then the others begin to talk to the boy as if the boy is a toy. And I'm thinking, if you don't get this boy out of here and say something, well, what's your name?
We're not entertaining
And
that.
how old are you?
We're not entertaining that. This is
And
adult
do
area.
you like da-da-da-da-da? And he's over there, I'm this many and this many. I wanted to take him and just flip him over the damn rail.
No, it's not his fault. I wholeheartedly blame the parents because they want to enjoy it. So it's like, I'll bring my kids knowing that this is not meant for kids.
Kids
Get
are at
outta
the
here.
bar, at the whole rooftop bar. So that would be like going down level 7 right now. Go up to the 7th floor of the rooftop bar, and then you see kids.
Yeah, no.
Now, here's what I want to know. And I couldn't ask nobody because they would have been upset. Oh, now, ladies, goddamn. None of y'all could have found it. The one dude he came heavy. He came with 3. And they were all little. And they had to literally pull the little tote John with them because there was so much shit.
No.
Then one dude, he holding his baby like out the elevator. He holding his baby. I'm gonna stop pulling my hair, yo. This is crazy. I'm like, it is crazy. Like, all y'all men right now who said this is what y'all asked for, you're lying. You are telling a lie, and you women went with it because guess what? Y'all wanted to go and didn't want to just let my man go down there, go to the beach, have a good time. Oh, he was attached to every one of the little brats that I seen down there. And then for the ones that didn't have brats, they had dogs. I'm like, yo,
Okay,
what's
now,
the deal?
Hold on.
Yo, the dudes had, I'm like, yo, wait, so if it's not a kid, it's a dog. I'm
Absolutely.
like, this is crazy work. And niggas looking at me like, you ain't got your kid? And no, I don't have them. The hell type of vacation is it to take kids with you? The hell? No.
This is why, and I say this all the time, I don't vacation with kids. I have a lot of friends who do have children, which love them to death. Smooches. However, I'm not going on vacation if you mention, oh, I got to bring my kid. You know what? Well, then you go ahead and enjoy yourself because I want to have adult fun. I don't want kids around me. I want to drink and be irresponsible and enjoy myself and not have to worry about, well, don't say this. I can't do that. Well, is it age appropriate? Even like excursions and stuff like that. When kids are on it, adults only. My resort and excursions, my experience needs to be adult only.
Absolutely.
I don't like kids like that.
Those women did forget that they had kids, and every dad was carrying it. Like, you carrying your kid is not a badge of honor to say, hey, Dad. Now, here's what I will say, and I know everybody gonna look at me like, see, here you go. I ain't see a lot of white kids. Matter of fact, I seen one.
Oh, these were all
Black.
even the this many?
Black.
Oh, the grits?
Black.
Oh no. Oh heavens.
So the white couples was vacating.
Hello.
Most of the time they get in the elevator. Hey, you a dad? Yeah, I'm a dad. Hey, happy Father's Day. Da, 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 da. And the white couples do what they do. The moms. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna say two things, and one may be cool, and one may not be cool. One, cool. I seen a lot of couples down there. Not cool. Didn't see a lot of wedding rings on both fingers. Didn't even see engagement rings on fingers. But I see a lot of kids. White, see the rings. Now take that for what you will. I'm just saying there was a clear discrepancy that I was like, But y'all wanted to stick them kids underneath them men's arms on their day. I just hope you did the same.
If they didn't want to be super dead, because we know that there's a lot of those out there.
And they're lame for that.
It is.
Go where there's kids, not here. Because this place, the pool looked like every kid peed in it twice.
Ew.
Like the pool, because there was nothing but the kids in the pool. You know what I'm saying? So then now we took the kids and we just dumped the kids in the pool. This was the experience, y'all. Like, and so I'm noticing these things. And like I said, a lot of people may get a little upset with me, but it was like we were the ones to go over the top with a whole bunch of kids in the hotel. If you seen white kids, they were older to where they could go do their own thing. But I'm talking about having little man and his little Uggs tripping and falling and going in there touching shit that he ain't supposed to be touching and all that stuff. You couldn't even get in the pool because it was all, I never seen one adult in the pool. 3 days, not one adult in the pool. Why? Because kids were using it as their toilet.
Gross.
Because I looked at the water and it just had this underlining not right color that wasn't blue. It was like, this pool has been pissed in numerous times. Then you seen little buddy with the little buddy diaper.
God.
Those things, the little diaper
thing. The little swimmers.
Yes. Yeah. So he done peed in the pool 2-3 times. So you can't even get in the pool. And then so I held this in because you don't want to look ungrateful about the trip, because we did the right thing and there's plenty of others who did the right thing. But the ones that had the kids, or the ones that didn't have the kids, were definitely like this at the ones that did. Because why? Even at that certain area, there was a mother there who had a little bitty baby, and you could tell this mom was over it, right? Because it was dad, the mom who was over it, and then either one of their parents, right? So she's feeding the baby, and me and Shakita both looked and was like, she is over it. Next time we seen her, we didn't see mom, dad, or baby.
Just her?
Just her.
I know that's right.
She got back on somebody.
I know that's right.
Like, she walked past us quick as hell. Her whole family was gone.
Oh, hey, Mr. Zig. Hey, now I can't see because the hand sanitizer is in the way.
All right, wait, we got to go here. Shout out to Jewel. And so here we go.
Black ain't no way. Why we go on vacation then? They should have waited another weekend. Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Chavis,
Oh yeah. That was the experience at first. Like, so then now, you figure you're gonna see that at the beach.
How was
your
y'all Father's Day?
Yeah, tell us how y'all Father's Day was and what you got. The beach was the beach, right? Yeah. You get there, it's hot as hell, no parking spaces, all that. You can't get away from kids there.
No.
But when you get back, get the hell out my
Adults
face.
only. Adults only or Airbnb. I have no desire to vacation with children under the age of 16. Because no, like you said, if they can't go off and do their own thing, no, you're not. I'm not trying to hear whining. I'm not trying to hear screaming. I want, and I got to sit here and adjust my schedule around what it is that you want to do. FTK, especially when it comes to vacation, stay home.
And then, I'm gonna tell it. So what? It's a part of the story, and it's funny because we laughed about it. So then Chiquita and I, my fiance, for those who don't know, are sitting there and enjoying our drinks, right? And you have to show your card to get your next drink. Well, I know how to order my liquor, even when it's somebody who doesn't know how to make a drink. It's because I drink vodka, so it's simple. Orange juice, splash of cranberry, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? So she, you know, well, what can you make? And her drink tastes like rubbing alcohol. Ugh. Now, because I tend to drink a little bit more than she does at times, like the taste for liquor, I can take shots, you know, blah, blah, blah. I drank her drink and mine, right? So we're not going to let liquor go to waste because she wanted rum mixed with orange juice. And so basically the same thing I had, but just with rum. That's not going to mix well, right? So it did not. So I drank her drink. And so then now you can see the disgust of like that on her face, that face. Well, what's wrong? Well, I want another drink. Well, yeah, okay. So, you know, well, go ahead and get in line because the line is getting short. You know, go ahead and get in line. And then she hit me with this face. And so now I'm not understanding why you hitting me with this face because the line is long. I waited to tell you I could eyeball the line. Hey, line's getting short. Go ahead and get in line. And then I got that face. So then in my manly delay, I said, oh, wait, hold on. Oh, you want me to go get your drink? Yes.
So just say that.
No. You're here on Father's Day weekend. You go get your drink. Peace. And she had to laugh and remind us, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because you'd have been thirsty, like I'm with your boy. Father's Day weekend. You go get your drink. Matter of fact, get us a drink.
All right, nigga.
It's Father's Day week. All them dads that were there were lying. Because guess what's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? All those kids will be there. That's the thing that when somebody says something like, for example, Mother's Day, I don't want to be a mom. Okay, cool. Then we make sure, you know, you get your time, lay in the couch, do what you do. And that's what she did. Having your kids with you doesn't make you a better parent. And people think that, like, see, the one dude was holding the baby and the baby's head was just like, nigga, you never hold this baby.
Never.
Baby's head was just. And he talking about, why you grabbing my hair, yo? Because the neck, he's trying to stabilize his damn self at this point. Like, nigga, hold on, nigga. You just want to hold this baby through the lobby of the damn hotel to be like, I'm a dad. I'm a father, yeah. Baby's head was steady.
Oh.
What the
Oh, God.
We can tell. Then the one dad that had the 3, he was so over that situation. The nigga was giving me the help me eyes like, man, I hit him with that. Like,
I don't know what to tell you.
Should have started earlier, nigga. 2 of my 3s already out of the game, baby. Even if I had 1, it's just 1. 2 of the 3, 14.
And let's
21.
be realistic about what you're signing up for. So IDK, you know, my heart goes out to you, but I can tell you right now, I don't want to trade places.
So that was the Embassy Suites. Did I have a great time? I did. You know when it was even the hotel was the best? When everybody left Sunday.
Yes.
Because then now you guys that got kids got to go because everybody got to go do what they got to do Monday. So that means Sunday, it was completely empty. Even the experience at the little free happy hour was different. The experience at the bar was different. There was great. The hotel serves phenomenal food. The food was great. When you got a chance to actually taste it and enjoy it without hearing kids crying. And then the next morning with the breakfast, there was nobody hovering over the grits like this. Don't tell me these kids don't have autism. These kids is out there autistic.
All right.
Who stirs grit? That was a sensory thing because he was just.
We have birthdays. Let's move on.
Pushed all the butter to the edge. Nigga, move. And then Stop allowing these kids to dress in pajama pants, Crocs, and t-shirts. So you figure, okay, that's what you're going to wear to breakfast. It's cool. It's breakfast. Same group of kids, same shit. It's 3:00. We seen you at the beach with the same. Stop letting these boys. Right now today in North Carolina, it's all of 96.
It's ridiculously hot.
Why are you allowing these kids to wear hoodies?
Someone was wearing a hoodie at the beach.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like, there was a kid that had a whole scully. Y'all call them toboggans. He had a whole scully on at the beach. Who's raising who around here? One kid's ass almost got caught in a riptide, not listening to his dad. His dad said, stop. We jumped through a wave. Come on back, because
the waves were treacherous.
All right, so my ass was out. How did your ass end up out, coach? The wave hit too hard, so I done lost weight. I don't know if y'all can notice this, but if you look, I done lost some weight. And so the trunks, the trunks that I wore to Jamaica, they don't fit very well anymore. So I was like, ugh, real tight. So the wave hit me, and it was cool hitting me, but it was that pullback. I was out there looking like Rick Ross. My whole ass was. If I wasn't fast, my shit would have been at my knees. Now I would have been looking crazy. But I was like, ooh. But meanwhile, the ooh didn't cover the crack of my whole ass out. Now, the kid though, father, clearly, dad is trying to stay close enough because my son wants to jump through the waves, and he's looking like, I wish you would just come back. Come back. No, Dad, I want to go further. Psh, jump through a wave. No, Dad, I want to go further. Psh, come back. So the last time he told him to come back, the current pushed his ass right on it. Dad had to jump out there and go swim to get him, and whooped his ass all the way back to the. I told you to not go back out there. I don't think Timmy knew how quickly this shit was going to happen because the tide was getting higher. And you could see it like, these waves ain't fucking with y'all. Right. And so, like I was telling Chiquita, I stood close enough to where I could feel it nudging me. I'm like, damn, I'm going to go back up there because I don't want to be the nigga who tripped and can't swim. And then now I got Wilmington Beach lifeguard
with the whistle.
And now I'm on the news. Who wants to be that guy? My ass was already out. Why don't kids... Listen, because everybody else was looking like, oh my God. Dad was just like, you know what? I guess Dad must have knew how well he could swim. Fuck it, let him go out there. And when I tell you, heads were like, because Timmy's ass just got pushed out there. Then he wanted, he was beating his ass while he was gagging.
I know that's right.
And then sat him down for the rest of the time we were out there.
Yes.
That's beach. Sorry. I'm sorry. What are we talking about here?
But it's 6:38, so birthdays.
Oh, we're just getting the birthdays?
Yeah.
Well, y'all, I told y'all I had stories. I promise you. I ain't tell y'all about the bum that yelled at me, but that should happen.
Yes, you did. You said that on Friday.
I told him about the store, not the bum.
Yeah, the one that said and he ain't got
no cigarettes. I'm about to go to jail and you can help me.
Then it led to circus.
Yeah. Circus cart.
Please don't start that shit.
Okay.
I laughed about that.
Hold on. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Birthdays. All right. We're going to get to those. I know I had a couple people check to see if I really said their birthday, and they got busted because I did. One of them, Dormany, busted.
Of course, we'll wish you a happy birthday.
If your birthday's listed, we are going to list it. Let's see. Well, we got to do the weekends, right?
I guess so.
Oh, all right. So not that many. All right, so let's go. From the 15th, we got Charles Harris, Yolanda Keene, Chad Burley, Dwyer Stewart, Jason J. Chicken. I don't know why y'all do that to y'all names. Chicken. Yeah, Jason J. Chicken with a chicken with a logo like this. Terrence Savage and Jason Crystal on the 18th, which is today, right?
Mhm.
Charles Scott, Lydia Reed. Wow, Lydia's so I don't know if you remember Lydia from Holy Rosary. That's how far back go with Lydia. Lydia, you remember my friend Joran?
Yes.
That's one of his little sisters.
Oh.
She's
Well,
so happy birthday.
Sugar.
Our cousin Jerry Hines, he's celebrating his 72nd.
I know.
Yeah, I know. That's Constance's husband.
Yes.
Yes. And then Sanji Jones,
Happy birthday.
Trey Tarpley, and then Thomas King is celebrating his 28th birthday. So
All
happy
right.
birthday to
Happy
everyone.
Birthday to all
And let's make sure
you.
we
Hey,
give y'all birthday song.
Let's do it.
Y'all ready? Well, happy birthday to you. Hey. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey. Happy birthday to you. Well, it looks good. It looks good. It looks fine. It looks fine. We hope you have a good time. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday to you.
And as the saying goes, continue to live your life in a way that makes every day worth celebrating, from the one and the only Sibs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
I got a slogan that we should say that whenever we get done saying some things, I said what I said, so let it lead you where it led.
Oh, I can dig it.
Because sometimes, our little jokes and stuff be between us, and then what does that mean? I said what I said. Let it lead you where it led. God damn it.
And is.
My cousin asked me for a rant, and that's what she got. A rant about kids and Embassy Suites. Man, that was crazy.
Yeah. Embassy Suites, unless they want to sponsor, they need to go ahead and do a little bit better.
Our sponsor is actually, and I just don't do nothing with them, is the Sheraton.
Oh, really?
That's what I have,
the
little point thing.
Yeah. I have points with Hilton.
So the Hilton Honors,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we got that too, but I haven't done anything with that either. Because I didn't know people really did that.
Yeah.
Oh, the ultimate story. You know what?
Gosh.
Only reason why is because two reasons. Because you said, it's a light news day, so we'll just talk about this week. Okay.
I still have stuff though.
I'm sorry. I got to tell this one.
Okay.
Because
How long is it going to take?
Hilton, I don't know. Hilton Honors Club is what triggered it. So we get to, Chiquita, she's very, very diligent when it comes to finances. She knows where every cent is at.
Mm-hmm.
So if something's wrong, ain't nothing moving until we figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So we get to the front, right? And the lady, typical, when I tell y'all, you do good at this, stereotypical Black woman who's helping and assisting you in a service industry. What does she look like?
Let me think. Does she have curly hair or natural hair?
A wig.
I was going to say that next. A wig.
So it was curly, but it was a wig. It was,
Was it a headband wig?
No, it wasn't. But it wasn't cut right.
Blending.
Yeah,
right,
it wasn't
right,
blending right.
Right. Was she fluffy?
Yep.
Okay. Big titties?
Yep.
Takes her job way too seriously.
Super, because we're about to get into it.
And everything was hun or baby?
Yes. so she talked like this, and she said,
Has she hands?
No, I didn't look because so Chiquita was like, you know what, you got to work on your attitude. When you're just not feeling people, you can just feel it. So, because here's why. She wanted to go over everything on this thing. So, okay, go see what we're going to do. We're going to make sure you get all your points. So go ahead over there and scan that over there. And then we're going to get you back over here so that you can get all your points. Then she's going to go, there's still a balance of 162. How you want to handle that? I said, I see. In my mind, I'm thinking you fucking with the wrong one, because Chiquita still, she won't move until because she done checked it out at 9 o'clock that everything was approved and paid for. So she goes, well, that's not what I have. And then Chiquita goes to the phone. She said, you know what? It might not, because it do say approved at the top. I don't know why these systems just don't do right. I'm sitting here like, God damn it. Here we go. Them systems don't do right. Well, it said that the card was declined. And then, so then now here, Chiquita's, that's not right. Like, I'm like, oh shit. So Chiquita leaned into the counter a little bit more. I'm thinking, and she talking about my attitude, but Chiquita handled it pleasant. In my mind is you don't tell nobody the card is declined without checking the balances. Yes. You got to make sure because white people will go crazy when you say your card is declined. And I mean it because I've worked in services, so don't get your draws in a knot. Tell a white person that got money that their card is declined. They will try to trash you in every way that they can. So I'm sitting there like, no, you shouldn't have said that. And so then now here she go, big, fluffy, wanting to help everybody. Well, let's see. Let me make a call because on my screen it's saying approved, but how would it say approved and then charge you 102? Chiquita said, well, I booked with a third party, so maybe that's the difference. Maybe I don't know why the card is trying to charge me that, but my card is valid and it will work. But if I got an approval of this last night and I checked again this morning, well, let me make a call. So she makes the call. I don't know why it's saying that. I see on my screen it say approved, but then it say balance 162. But her screen on her phone and her screen on my computer, it all match. I don't know. Tell me what should I do?
Check these people in and you figure it out on your end.
So then clearly on the manager's side, okay, because I was just about to say. You wasn't about to say a damn thing because you called the damn manager. So the manager clearly said, well, if it says approved in both places, I don't know. Because it's a third party, I can't tell you why they're trying to charge that extra balance. It's what it is. And so then, well, he said, just let it go. So I'm going to let y'all just enjoy y'all. So off of me just came anger because that's not how you handle.
No, it's not.
A customer who already has an approval. Yes. And whose balance has been approved. You don't tell them that the card was declined. So I'm already.
Because where are you seeing that anywhere?
Pooh, she didn't see it. She was, like I said, you just one of those women who want to help, but don't know how to read the screen. And I knew something was up because the lady behind her was packing water in the bags for guests. And she was just shaking her head like
she don't know what the hell she's doing.
And I'm thinking, come help her.
Yes, say something.
Nah, she let her fall on her face, so she must not like her because she seems like one of the people who know everything but know nothing.
Yes.
Because then when I said, well, who gets that water? Oh, let me get you your water. Well, give us something.
Actually, if you are at a certain level, those are the people who get treats from Hilton. But I guess because she felt bad, it's like, let me just go ahead and give it to you.
Because we were new and because of the stay. And when she signed up for the Hilton points, it automatically pushed her to point, give us that water. But she act like she ain't know. And we just gonna go ahead and give you this water. So then you get to the room and you're like, well, let's see what type of water it is. It was Thirst. I said, this is from Walmart.
It ain't nothing special.
Damn you, Hilton or Embassy Suites. I don't even know what the lady's name was, but everything you said was right. She was like a cartoon Disney character. A clump, if you may. Not because of her size, because of the yes, let me just help you out. And it's like, I feel
like, well, all right, girl.
And it was until she said her card was declined.
Yeah, because then that's crazy. Now we got problems. Yeah. And my whole entire tone is about to change on you.
And it did. But I don't even remember. I was so hot because I don't like for people. Don't tell people their card is declined.
Right.
There's other ways to say that without saying your card is declined. You can say that there's a balance that hasn't been attended to. Well, why not? Let me check into that. But to say, oh, your card has been declined, and meanwhile somebody's looking at you with a whole approval, I've seen a dude when I used to work at Foot Action. I think it's scarred in my head from this. This white dude came in and he bought 3 pairs of Jordans and he went to go swipe the card. The card came back declined, allegedly. And that dude chewed his ass out and said, I'm not leaving till you try it again. He went in on him. And what I think it was is he had the credit card turned the wrong way. Because then all of a sudden, oh yeah, it worked. Dude, I'm dumbass. I'm like, see, because you was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I had to tell you about the big titty lady in the front of Embassy Suites that wanted to help everybody. Then while you helping us, you're going to ask the people behind, what can I do for you? You didn't finish us.
You're not done yet, baby. Stay
You
here.
didn't finish. Stop trying to help everybody.
I'm trying to be here and here.
And water chick, get on your little register. Why did you have an attitude? What did tits do to you to cause you to have an attitude?
Like you said, probably knowing everything, being in everybody's business, being the office
She
mom.
had a whole attitude towards her. Like she was not helping her and she's just shaking her head. And I'm like, help her. But needless to say, it got handled because I promise you, one thing I know about Chiquita Steele, she was not going to let that ride. Because I'm thinking, well, just pay the ballot. We can pay the ballot. That's one of them. Shut up. Okay.
Yeah, no. I done paid this. It's been approved. I got the receipts because I'm good for a good receipt. So you need to figure it out. Something's going on your end. And I don't know what it is, but figure it the hell out and figure it out immediately.
We were sitting there just like that.
Oh, that was me.
Oh, I was saying we were sitting there just like that, waiting. And yes, spending all that money waiting for them to be cheap. Yes. Who is Ben? Who? I can't see that.
I can't see anything because the hand sanitizer.
We're in a bad spot. Thank you, cuz. Appreciate it. Ben Carson's wife. Why does she always look lost? She looks like she don't know why she's in the places that she's in. That would be a great meme of just her in certain spots. Just then she turns into like this. Never mind.
Yeah.
Spend all that money for the right. If you want to give me some water, give me some water. Even though, did you know, news, seriousness, Fiji has recalled like over 1 million or something bottles of water because it's contaminated. And guess where they put it?
In the dollar store?
In the dollar store.
And you were so happy about Fiji.
No. This was recent. This was probably about a month, not even a month, about 2-3 weeks ago. And I'm like, oh man.
I do not like Fiji water. Never did.
Your days are numbered if something's wrong with me, Fiji. Because I was only $1.
I do not like Fiji water. I think it's disgusting. Just like Dasani.
Well, right now I got Niagara purified. I don't know nothing about that. I didn't crack that yet because I thought about Fiji like, It's one of those days. Man.
Yeah.
Let's just have fun with TDS radio. Because you know why? Only reason why I said that, because you know why?
Tell me why.
Today was a day where my Sib was tired. And she muscled herself up to just be here today. So I figured we'll just go on a rant until it's time to talk to our guests. Because I know how you feel. There's been many a day I'm over here like. One time I seen Lena type this. She's like, you're holding on by a thread. I've seen it. So I knew. My homie had to get right before we got on the show. So I was just like, you know what? I'll just tell the people what's on my mind. Because we can do that. Because we got a guest at 7:00.
Yeah. And I don't know how much time we have because I definitely want to talk about this documentary. Because that's insane. Insane.
Well, I mean,
insane.
We can talk about it. Let's talk about it, then take a break because the guest should be ready to come on at 7. We'll take a break, get him situated, and go from there. Let's go.
Have y'all seen this documentary on Netflix called Tell Them You Love Me? This documentary by far is probably one of the most insane. And I watch a lot of documentaries. This one, I'm just like, what the hell?
First of all, that
is going
picture
on?
is crazy.
Yes. So if you haven't heard about the documentary, it is about a college professor, an esteemed college professor. We're not just talking about somebody who, doesn't have any sort of, just any sort of background. Like, she was at Rutgers and, well researched and very well respected. And she was essentially studying something called facilitated communication, where you are helping individuals with special needs and that are nonverbal try to get their thoughts out through typing on a keyboard, and it lets you know what it is that they're trying to say. And essentially what they were arguing is that nonverbal individuals are a lot more profound than what we would allow or that we let on. So, they enjoy certain arts of work, reading, speeches, things like that. And this is all found out through facilitated communication. So there was a young guy, Derek Johnson, and he has cerebral palsy. And the brother actually found out about this professor. What was her last name? Dr. Stubberfield?
And Stubberfield.
Yeah,
something
and
like that.
Stubberfield. He found out through her from a PhD program that he was going through, and he heard her talking about this facilitated communication, all stuff like that. And he's like, well, I think this might be something good for my brother to be a part of. So she's like happy to help, all the stuff like that. She then takes her, the younger brother underneath her wing. Derek Johnson is his name. She calls him, or he said that he would like to be referred to as D-Man. And before you know it, she ended up in this, salacious affair with a man that has cerebral palsy and is nonverbal. Now, she claims that he is saying all these things, that he wants to live on his own, that he's tired of being seen as a child, that he wanted to kiss her and, wanted to have a relationship with her, that he wanted to have sex and all of that. And she ends up sleeping with this man, not once, but twice, in her office. She lays down a yoga mat and has sex with him because she claims that this is something that he wanted to do, that he was telling her these things. Now, Slater found out as you continue to watch the documentary that one of the other scholars is like, FC, what they call it, isn't even a proven thing. Like, they realize that typically what the patient or what the client is doing is mirroring what their caregiver is saying. So he had a test where it was like, okay, well, what are these called? And it was keys. So the caregiver would say keys, and then the client would say keys. Then he put something in between the two so that the patient couldn't see the caregiver and realize that they were just saying things based off of what their client said. So he's like, there is no real proof that FC actually is a thing, that it's supposed to happen. I mean, that, it's something that you can actually, what am I trying to say? It's not something that's proven, and it's not something where you can see that they're wanting to communicate outside of what they're being told. So all this, oh, he wanted to sleep with me. Oh, he wanted to kiss me. Mind you, this woman is married. She has 2 kids, and she decides to have an affair with a non-verbal client. It was crazy. I've never seen a documentary like that. And I've heard news stories where people will unfortunately molest or sexually abuse or assault, a patient that has some sort of illness or is nonverbal. But this is her, and this is D-Man, or Derek, as he was referred to in the documentary. And this is who she claims she fell in love with, and he fell in love with her as well. But as someone who has worked in this field.
Oh, what type of setup is this?
I'm just saying. No, I want to know your opinion because you worked in this field. You dealt with these clients one-on-one.
Oh, man. All my life since graduating college.
That's what I'm saying. So you've dealt with these people one-on-one.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on?
She was a damn lie.
Okay.
Because I have done facilitated communication with Elliot. Remember Elliot? So and
he was nonverbal.
And he was completely nonverbal. So now for her to say that this person was able to express that level of communication of emotions. Now, here's what I'll say. Will I say that the emotion part is untrue? Possibly not.
Now, when you say emotion, what do you mean?
Like how he feels towards her.
Okay, yeah.
Because the one thing that there was no shortage of is me stopping my man L from masturbation and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or you noticed how when he came to the cookout, how he was attached to you. You know what I'm saying? So like, am I going to say that they don't have the feelings and emotions? That would be wrong to say. That is true. The thoughts may be just as normal. It's just the fact of getting them out.
Right.
Now, to say that this man had typed these detail-oriented messages to her and then said, I want to sleep with you. Yeah, go to hell, lady. I need you to go to hell quickly. And I need you to admit that you got caught up in something with this person or with this idea of this person. And it was even more wild because you're married with kids. So do the emotions happen? We all can't say yes or no. There's not enough studies to be able to say yes or no. I'll err on the side of saying, yeah, I think so, because I've seen so many nonverbal people, depending on their scale, perform different acts or touch sensory, like their sensory of touch, things like that. So who's to say what's going on in their mind, because they specifically can't get it out. Right.
And like you said, you see them hug and you will see them kiss and things like that.
Yes.
So yes, those are all normal because they're still, at the end of the day, they're still human beings. So they're going to experience this. But like you said, when you're hearing her say these things of, oh, well, I long for you and I wish to have,
no way he said, Anna, I want to have sex with you. And with a computer that she's got in his hands.
Right.
Girl, go to hell. And every piece of jail you did, you deserve it.
Which I won't even get into that because I don't want to spoil the documentary for anyone. I mean, of course, you can always look up the case. It started
by them showing her going to jail and her crying.
Exactly. So. And I mean, the case, once you pull it up, you'll see that she didn't do the maximum amount of time that she should have done. And of course, there's always somebody that's sympathetic to her. But in that case, I'm like, but who was being sympathetic or who was being protective of Derek? Y'all failed him in that moment.
And did we? D-Man might have wanted to get him a little something. See, that's the part where I was like, well, I mean.
You sexually assaulted this boy.
He was a man.
But you sexually assaulted him. Come on.
I mean, but let's figure out if D-Man was really upset. Because if I was D-Man, I'd be like, y'all are wild as hell. I'm nonverbal and you took the cooch from me? What type of shit are y'all doing? If I was, because the mom said that he would grab and bite at, I would have bit the shit out of my mom. Now, how you gonna mess up my booty call because y'all mad? How many nonverbal people, he was a grown man. That's what I'm saying. Like, it ain't like this. Now, if it was a boy, it'd have been terrible. It's a grown man. D-Man might have been like,
she took advantage.
D-Man might have hit them buttons like, cool. Okay. With me. Y'all some haters. If I'm D-Man, y'all hating. And his brother, if I had looked at his brother, he probably looked at his brother. You hating ass.
Need to switch gears before you get us in trouble because nigga.
He was nonverbal, but that didn't mean anything else wasn't speaking. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that was crazy.
She was absolutely disgusting.
Hold on.
I was nonverbal at one point after my stroke. All the relearning to communicate is, like you just said, is more repeating what I said or done. But my will to communicate, again, you aren't able to even get a full sentence out. Jail her, please.
Y'all some haters.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
y'all took the booty from D-Man, and because when I stopped watching, I was like, well, I mean, maybe he liked it.
Not saying that he didn't like it, but you completely took his autonomy away. There was no consent. It's not like he just said, oh yeah, no, you told him this is what he wanted, because in your sick mind, you wanted to have sex with a man that is suffering from cerebral palsy. That is insane. You have a husband with 2 kids. You ruined your life for this.
You know how many men with cerebral palsy probably is like, man, D-Man.
Okay, we have a guest. Damn it. Let's switch gears before this gets
D-Man,
crazy.
D-Man.
Let's switch gears before this gets insane.
He might be the spokesman. Told y'all niggas
You are going to hell.
Am I?
Yes.
I help I work with people who
That
suffer.
does not justify what you're doing in this moment.
Because you want to know something? The one guy who was verbal with cerebral palsy, you know where he was allowed to go from the group home to the strip club?
I know that's right. But he actually said he wanted to go. Correct?
He was allowed to go. So then how do we not know D-Man wanted some boo? Never mind. So we have a guest.
Yes, we do.
Give us
I don't know how
give
we're
us
gonna switch this
it's just it is what it is. We have a guest. But
crazy.
Maybe our guest will agree with me. He might say it's wild, but he might agree with me.
We also have something else that we have to ask him about as well.
We do.
Yeah.
So give us 1 second. We're gonna get our guest in, and then we'll be right back.
Jesus
TDS Radio.
Christ.
It's our voice and it's our culture.
Jesus
D-Man. D-Man. All right. Okay.
Well, let's go into him first.
Okay, let's go. What's up? It's your man, Coach Block, one half of TDS Radio. One shout out to my man, D-Man. Please tell that man strip club story. Another day. Right now.
Gabe, first of all, Gabe.
I will. I'll tell the strip club story because it was hilarious. All right, but first we have a guest coming in the building. I'm gonna bring him in. Hold on 1 second. Bang. My man, Mr. Show. Well, I don't want to say Showtime. I'm sorry.
That's fine, man. Call me what you know me as, man. Call me what you know me as.
I'm gonna tell y'all a true story, man. I always vibed out to him on the radio when I first got to North Carolina, just by the way he said his name. Mm-hmm. Like Mr. Showtime, Mr. Talk of the Town. Mr. Talk of the Town is Showtime, or however you said it. I was like, yo, he's dope. I want to be where he's at. Then I got a chance to meet him, and I'm like, yo, he don't even like to say his own catchphrase no more. What's this? Like even Batman, he don't want to put on the uniform.
you know that type of thing comes with retirement, man. Sometimes you got to retire certain things, man.
But we're going to change gears from the party scene, and we're going to actually talk about some things that is relevant to Men's Mental Health Month, which D-Man is.
This is not D-Man.
It is relation, but it is.
I'm not D-Man. I'm not any. I haven't been to a strip club in many, many years.
You know what? I haven't either.
None of that. Is applicable to me.
I haven't been to
over 20 years for me.
It might be like that for me too.
Yeah.
I promise you, like I have not been to a strip club. There's nothing that I find enjoyable about it. Like when I was younger, yeah. But now, somebody's like, "Yeah, we going to the strip club." I'll catch y'all at the crib.
Cool. I'm cool. I don't even eat chicken wings, so I'm super cool. I'm straight. Yeah, we just going for the chicken wings, and I'm cool on that, man. I'm cool. Always been cool. Even when I was young, I was never into the strip club. Like
for real?
That's right.
Okay, that's what's up.
So I keep my money in my pocket, man. Like,
I know that's right. I know that's right.
And
ain't nobody trying to pay somebody else's bills, and you leave there feeling
and
silly.
don't get nothing out of it, but you know what I mean? Not me.
So let's change gears. For Men's Mental Health Month, I have been bringing speakers in that can add a little bit of information, knowledge, tools for the tool belt that can help out with just dealing with the mental strain that a lot of people seem to think men gloss over. You know what I mean? So one thing that I wanted to talk about was just fatherhood. And Dion, if you could, you have a company called Glad Dad that revolves around fatherhood. So if you could explain a little bit about Glad Dad, and then we can get into some conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to share this joint on my Facebook real quick. Let me just get that done. I'm sorry. I should have did this before we got started, huh?
It is all good.
It's all right.
I'm so unprepared.
It's all good.
All right, here we go. I was sitting in the green room for like 10 minutes, and I could have been doing this the whole time. All right, cool. Glad Dad. So yeah, man, I'm a father of two. My daughter is 20. She just turned 20 a little bit over a week ago, and my son is 6. Both were, kind of like the motivation for what I do with the Glad Dad. And that organization, I started it when I was working in radio because I wanted to number one, promote responsible fatherhood, but I also wanted to figure out a way to help the older generation, like teachers, the parents, the people who deal with these young people, understand how to connect with young folks using tools like hip hop and popular culture and social media. So what I do is it's mainly professional development. So I work with a lot of educators. I work with a lot of juvenile justice systems, people like that, to help them kind of get a grasp on how they can build a better bridge to connect with our young people, just to kind of meet them where they are, because a lot of times there's a gap between where we are as adults and where our children are. And for a lot of us, it's almost like we don't want to go down to their level, or we kind of forget how we were when we were younger, right? So I want to be that bridge, or help them build that bridge to build better connections with our young folks.
So what do you see as one of the misunderstandings that society may have even on fatherhood? And especially, you and I both being Black fathers, especially being a Black dad, what are some of the things that you hear where it's just cringeworthy?
A lot of times, man, just the myth that dads aren't as engaged as moms are, that dads can't be as nurturing as moms can, that dads aren't as involved with their kids' education as mom can be. And, just that stereotype that we kind of still face, like a lot of dads who are trying to be involved in their kids' education. A lot of times they get not necessarily pushback from schools and from educators, but the responses that they get is almost like a response of shock when they hear or see a dad who wants to be involved. You'll hear sometimes teachers will say, well, what does mom have to say? Or what does mom think? You know what I mean?
Right.
And, you can clearly see that I'm dad. So if I say that this is what it is, then this is what it is. And, mom is pretty much going to be on board with it, just trying to minimize our role as parents when it comes to our, the parts that we play in our children's education.
And so what are some things, even if you were speaking on a panel, what are some things that we can do to help to debunk that, or even to facilitate, healthy conversation where we also don't come off as angry when we're faced with that situation. Because I was faced with that when I was younger too. Like, okay, what is mom talking about? Mom,
yeah. Right. I think, the first thing that we have to do, we got to be present, right? We have to be present, and we have to let them know, and this is just in the educational space, like we have to let them know, like out the gate, like I'm dad, I'm here. First day of school, second day of school, like make sure they got my phone number. And even if you're not with your child's mother, right? Like if you're, not the custodial parent, and you still have the ability to go down to the school, make sure the school has your phone number, make sure that the teachers know your email address, and make sure that they know how to reach you, and make sure that you let them know, like, all right, well, I'm here, I'm in my child's life, and just as you would reach out to mom for something, make sure you're reaching out to me too. We're together, we're not together, whatever the case may be, but when it comes to our child, like it's my responsibility to know everything that's going on, and I want to be sure that I got all my ducks in a row when it comes to my child's education. So make sure I'm here. We can be present, we can show up, we can volunteer, we can just have conversations with the teachers, like help the kids with the homework, and if there's something that the kid is struggling with, make sure you reach out to the teacher. Like I've never had a problem reaching out to any of my kids' teachers. Like what's up? Like what we doing? Like where we at with it? And just just let your face and your voice be known in those hallways, man, and just really, really step up and let them know. And it's sad to say that sometimes you have to like overcompensate to let them know that you're there and that you're involved. But if that's what you got to do to be a part of your child's education, then that's just what you got to do.
Right. So then, I'm sorry, you had a question?
Yeah. So with some of the fathers, because I do oftentimes, and I'm pretty sure you both do, especially on social media, the difficulties of co-parenting, especially like you said, when the mother and the father aren't together. And sometimes the emotions are still there and people allow those to get the best of them and not think of it, logically and for the betterment of the child. How do you help some of these fathers navigate those difficulties of co-parenting, especially when the separation is fresh?
Yeah. The thing about co-parenting, Kim, is that there's always, not always, but most times there's some sort of emotional attachment that was there at some point. For some folks, that emotional attachment goes away over time. For some folks, it stays longer than others. But the message that I always try to give to dads is that, whatever you're going through with that child's mother, it's not going to last forever, right? But the impact that you have by being engaged in your child's life, being engaged in your child's education, that is going to last forever. So as hard as it may be to go to a PTA meeting or go to a parent teachers conference and mom is there too, you got to do it, right? And you can't let anything stop you from doing what's best for your child. And what's best for your child is making sure that you're there, just because the data shows that when kids are when they have dads that are engaged, they're less likely to drop out. They're less likely to skip school. They're less likely to get involved in drugs and alcohol. They're less likely to have sex and engage in risky behaviors at an early age. So all those things are proven just by studies that show the importance of dad. So a lot of times as dads, we don't know that, right? We don't know that if we are engaged, our child is less likely to drop out of school, right? And I tell people the one thing that we all have in common as parents, I don't care who you are, I don't care where you're from, is that we all want our kids to be and do better than we are. And as dads, our role, once we step into that role, it turns into how can I help my child do better and be better than I was? And a major part of that is how you engage in their education.
And as flipping it from the educator standpoint, because, Dion pretty much nailed it as a parent. But from the educator standpoint, a lot of dads, what I would like for them to do is realize that teachers will take the time to speak with you, but they are going to go through the checks and balances. And what I mean by checks and balances is like you got to make sure your name is in the front office so that information can be released to you, and you can discuss certain private things about their academia. But once that information is up front in that front office and approved, it don't make a difference. You just, even if mom is tripping, cool. You can still pick up the phone without having the same PTA meeting, but get the same information.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I do see a lot more, and just in my lens, I do see a lot more dads taking that step. But the one thing that they miss is making sure that their information is in that front office.
Mm-hmm.
Once that information is in that front office, and you know, there's no like legal things where like abuse or something may have taken place, any of that stuff. As long as none of that's there, and it's just one of those things where it's just a cat and mouse game between dad and mom, the school does not get involved. If there is no court order saying dad can't get the information, you having your name there and you saying that I want to be alerted, the school will definitely oblige, because they can get in trouble by not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and that goes for schools, that goes for doctors' offices, that goes for you know, any sort of establishment where you are concerned about the well-being of your child, right? And you know, this gets into the legalities of things, and being, you know, a legal custodian or having 50-50 legal custody and things like that. That's why I tell guys all the time that it's important to be sure that if you are in a co-parenting situation, that you have to make sure that your stuff is straight on paper, like you said, Block. You have to make sure that you are at the very least down in that courthouse as 50%, having 50% legal custody, right? There's a difference between legal custody and physical custody. That's a different conversation. But legal custody ensures that you can, you know, you have to be included on all of those school conversations. So if you don't want your child to go to a certain school, if you don't want your child to do that, you have to be included in that conversation. You have to, you know, have access to their school records, their medical records, all those things. So a lot of dads don't necessarily know that, because we don't get, you know, we don't always get taught that. We don't get told that in a system that wasn't designed for us. But you know, at some point you got to step up to the plate and research for yourself and get the information yourself.
So
go ahead.
So last week we talked about, you know, men, especially Black men, not being able to have a safe space to show their vulnerabilities and have someone to talk to and lean on. Now, when you become a parent, how, especially a father, how do you create those safe spaces for your children if you're already struggling with it on your own?
That's a great question, Kim. That is a great question. I think that a lot of dads, we struggle with our emotions as is, right? We struggle with having a certain level of emotional intelligence that it takes to be able to create safe spaces for our young people, because we're parenting based on the way that we were parented, and those, you know, ways of parenting that we received from our parents and our generation. I tell people all the time, 9 times out of 10, those ways of parenting were based on survival. They weren't based on raising a child who was whole and complete emotionally, physically, all of those things. It was based on survival. Like, I can't have you going out in this world and doing something crazy in front of these white people that's gonna get you thrown in jail. So, you know, my mama beat me, so I'm gonna beat you. You know, we were raised on that. So I think for now, it's time that we as fathers and as parents in this generation, like, we have to be responsible for breaking that cycle, right? So we have to take not only our own mental health into consideration, but the mental health of our young people into consideration. Because you know, at one point growing up in the 80s and 90s, you tell your parents you was depressed, they gonna tell you to go in that kitchen and depress them dishes.
Right.
I'm gonna give you something to be depressed. Right?
Depress them damn dishes.
Right. Depress this trash and take it outside.
Right.
But we can't do that anymore, man. Like, we have to be, and I get pushback about this sometimes, because as some parents, they say, well, I gotta be tough on these kids. I gotta be tough. Blah, 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 blah. I don't necessarily subscribe to that. Like, I subscribe to, I think we should be a soft place for our kids to land, because I think the world is very, very hard. And I think they're going to have it hard enough when they go out here. We have to be their soft space. They have to know that they can confide in us. They have to know that they can come to us without judgment. They have to know, and I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any repercussions, and I'm not saying that there shouldn't be any sort of, you know, parenting where you are doing things that might, you know, it's gonna hurt me more than it hurts you, right? We all been there, right? But I think we as fathers, as men, we have to evaluate our own level of emotional intelligence and then look at our kids, because, like, you know, we've never grown up. We didn't have to grow up in a pandemic, right? Where we
Right.
were separated from our classmates and our friends for 2 years. Yeah, we had things that were hard. We, some of us grew up and walked out of our house, and there was people selling crack, and there were people getting killed and murdered and all of those things. And we've, made it so that hopefully our children won't have to live that experience just by being upwardly mobile Black folks. We've moved the needle in that aspect, right? So our kids, when they walk out of the door, hopefully they won't see those things. But we will never know what it's like to grow up having a pandemic for 2
Right.
years that took you out of school, that took you out of your ability to socialize with your friends.
Right.
So we have to offer some sort of grace to these kids, because they're still learning, and they're still learning how to adjust to this new world. Like COVID was just a couple of years ago, man. Like,
Right.
we all still trying to figure this thing out.
And one of the things that you just talked about being a safe space, I have a friend that I tell him all the time, like, man, you too hard on your son. And the first thing he goes to is, well,
Right.
and I'm thinking like, but bruh, think about how that made you feel. A part of you saying that is your trauma that you're not dealing with as an adult.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my personal self had to get into therapy and deep into therapy to really start to have those conversations with me about how I am with my girls. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes into your style of communication. You know what I'm saying? And also being able to treat now this leads me to my next question, being able to treat each child as an individual versus blanketing your parenting.
Right.
Because I do feel as though, and Dion, let me know how you feel about that, where people will try to raise all the kids that they have the same exact damn way.
Right.
And it's like, no, that's a little individual with their own sets of emotions and
the
feelings.
comparison, that hurts too.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Because you were smarter than me.
Shut
and
up.
that hurt.
Shut up.
She probably still is.
Yeah,
But
exactly. She used 2 big words today on me. I told her, I said, literally, you use one more, I'm going home. Like,
some SAT words, huh? That's the SAT words to get you every time.
but yeah,
I think that we oftentimes forget that our children are little human beings. And my motto, and this is thing that I've learned. Like, again, I got a 15-year age gap between my baby, 14, 15-year age gap between my baby. So a lot of the things that I've learned was trial and error, right? And one of the things that I learned is that we have to treat our kids the way that we would want somebody to treat us. And we want people to treat us with respect. We go to work every day or go here every day, and if the boss yells at us or talks to us the wrong way, you ain't gonna talk to me like that. You ain't gonna do it. You ain't do who you think you talking to? I'm grown.
Right.
But then we go home and we take that same approach, and we give it to our children, and we yell at them, and we scream at them, and we slamming doors, and we stomp. That's the same thing you told the boss man that not to do to you.
Right.
But you can do it to your kids, right?
Right.
So that's the first thing. We have to come to an understanding that even though they are kids, even though they're little people, they're still human beings, right? And as an adult, if you are to put your hands, if you are to fight or assault another human being, you're going to jail. So what gives you the right to assault or put your hands on a child?
Right.
You should go to jail. It's the same thing, right? And again, this is something I've had to learn over being a parent for 20 years. But there's this thing with us as Black parents that we want to be as tough as we can be on our children. We want to be as hard on them, and we want to, give them all of the rough lesson. And man, I don't want my kids to have a hard life, man. I don't. I don't want them to know what it's like to walk 20 miles to school in the snow. Oh man.
Yeah.
Right. Now, there's one thing that I want to ask both of you, because both of you are girl dads. And on Twitter recently, you know, everyone is up in arms about the game and his youngest baby, Callie, and I guess their relationship. So some pictures had surfaced about with the two of them, and you know, just him hugging or kissing on her or whatever. And I think we do have the photos, but I want both of you to take a look and then let me know your honest thoughts. Like, do you feel like there is a level of this being inappropriate, or is this just a father genuinely showing love to his baby girl?
So initially, like not even initially, what I see, and I was joking with you, I said I see a spoiled daughter, like, and that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just seeing like a little girl who loves her dad, like especially the bottom picture right here, the bottom left picture where she's just like holding his face and looking away. Like, to me, I see nothing wrong, and I said it as a joke, but I also mean it. If you look at this in a way and see something wrong, I promise you something in your life was a little bit altered when it comes down to either a relationship with your father or a relationship with a man in your life that you trusted. Because personally, myself, I don't see anything wrong with this as a father to a daughter taking their pictures and having a good time. What do you think, D?
I agree 1000%. I think this is the little girl that Game adopted. I don't think she's his biological daughter.
Okay.
I believe that he has been in her life since she was a baby. I don't see anything wrong with any of that. I think, like Block said, I think that's a dad that loves his daughter, a daughter that loves his dad, daughter that loves her dad. And Game has done 1,000 things that I would disagree with.
Right.
I think the question surrounding Game shouldn't necessarily be this. I think the question should be the fact that he has another baby on the way by Evelyn Lozato's daughter.
Right.
Who I didn't get a chance to do the research, but she's pretty young, if I'm not mistaken. She's she in her 20s or
I thought she was what, 27?
Okay. Game 40, Game my age, Game 44, 45, maybe a little bit older.
And Game is 44, 45.
Right. I think that might be his he does have a thing for younger women, which, hey, I don't got a heaven or hell to send him to. But on this, I all charges dismissed. I don't.
Yeah. See, I didn't think so either. Like, when I looked at it, I'm like, nah, because I know if I dig up some pictures, at least I know like the bottom two and maybe even the top one, because I always joke with my littlest one with Zerbert and her cheeks and stuff like that. So it's like, depending on how you catch it, somebody might be like, Coach Block is tripping. And it's like,
sure.
Nah, this is how me and my daughter engage. Like, we wrestle and all that. And she looks for some of the wrestling, or she looks for some of the, me kissing on her cheek a certain way and all that. So it's like, if you looked at this and you personally had a problem, I would, due to my experience dealing with people in mental health, rape, stuff like that, there's somewhere down the line somebody violated your trust that was in this position.
Yeah.
And so that's why you immediately go to that's unacceptable. I can't do that. Nah, come on, man. Like, there's nothing that implies that. Like I was telling you, I said she got that hot ass denim jacket on and jeans in the top right picture. Like, there's nothing suggestive. Like, she's not wearing any suggestive clothing or anything like that. Like, come on, y'all. Like, it's okay for a dad and a daughter to love one another.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can never get enough kisses from either of my babies. So
right.
And that I think that was going to be my next question. Do you think that people are having a hard time accepting Black men, really genuinely loving on? I can't even imagine letting my kids do that now. How do y'all overcome that fear?
I'm gonna adjust my camera, y'all. I'm sorry. I wanted to say something. I'm a helicopter dad, so damn. Yikes. I'm doing too much. I'm really doing too much. Y'all are never gonna invite me up here ever again. Let me
now you crooked.
Right, I know. Cut the show for a minute. Cut me off for a minute. Take me off for a minute. I gotta fix this. Y'all are never gonna invite me back. Take me off for a second, Block.
You good, man. Right.
No, I gotta get up. No. Take me out of the joint real quick.
Oh,
just take
man.
me out of the joint. I'm coming right back. Just don't kick. Just
do that. There you go. So I can answer the question. I can start by answering the question. So I don't even know if I have overcome that fear, period, myself. Like when I go to the park, I'm the dude that's in the I'm ghosting her, shadowing her, even her interactions with other kids. And I honestly think it's because I have a girl. I think with a boy, I'd be completely different. Like run, scratch, bust your skull open and do that. But just knowing how our little girls are anything, like, you know, just somebody who may have been touched inappropriately thinks it's okay to touch your child that way, or, you know, anything. And I always keep my eye out in that stretch. And so I guess I have not specifically overcome that fear myself until they gotten older. So as they get older, I'm like, okay, I'll give a little bit of rope. You know what I'm saying? A little, very little bit. But my oldest got mad because everybody I knew her. So it was always eyes on her. And then the football team that I was coaching and people I would coach would look at her the same way, like, oh, that's Lil Block's daughter. So,
and baby, it don't get no better as a sibling.
And so, you know, she was constantly under surveillance by people. Now my middle child, Nadia, is more of a fighter. She's not necessarily, why you make that face?
She was a fighter out the womb.
Yeah, so she's more of a fighter, and she is a lot more, she communicates a lot more than her older sister. So I think if something were to happen, she would say something, which I think is the biggest part of kind of overcoming that fear, is having the level of communication with your children that even if it's something uncomfortable, they can talk to you about.
Right.
When that happens, who knows? Like as far as what level that is. Because I know right now my youngest probably wouldn't. She would ask, well, where's mommy? But she's 4. So I don't know. Each one of them is different. I think the oldest would try to figure it out and then mess it up. And then now we got to figure out a problem.
Right.
The middle one's going to say it. And then the youngest one's going to ask for mommy. So it's all different.
Well, like Dion was saying, it's that whole individualized, you know, teaching. I mean, essentially treating each child differently because they're all different.
Right.
You know, they're not the same child. So they are going to have different methods of how I want to resolve this problem. Yeah.
Having them communicate to me, and then like also knowing like if we're in a neighborhood, who they're hanging with, you know, and their people. I'm still old school in that. Like I need to know who your people are and then who you're hanging with. But if she got a good circle of young folks around her, it's scary, but you got to let them be who they are. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like that new movie Inside Out 2 that I just watched. It's one of those ones where it's kind of like you got to eventually allow that person to grow. And the anxiety that we feel as parents, we cannot bestow upon the kids because then now they take the anxiety into the world that we've put on them. And that was the gist of the movie, by the way, but it's a great movie. People should watch it, especially if you got teenagers. It was a great movie because not only did they give, you know how they got the Inside Out characters for the girl, but then they had characters for the mom and the dad, and it was hilarious, like just dealing with a teen. So, but that would be my thing, man. The more I can communicate, the more I know about my child, the easier it would be to allow them in those spaces. I know we have to protect them from the world, but there's only always so much protection we can specifically do. But the more communication and the stronger relationship that I build, I have to trust that bond so that when it's time to communicate the hard stuff that they will. I don't know. What you think, D?
I'm a helicopter dad. Like I was saying, I agree with everything that you said. I think that we can't put our anxieties on our kids, but man, it's rough. It's rough. Like, you know, as someone who, you know, my daughter just turned 20 and we just got her a car for her 20th birthday. And man, it just having a child that is like driving on their own and having that own, you know, sense of independence where she can kind of come and go as she pleases and really, really having the ability to be outside if she wanted to. Like that's not really the type of time that she's on, but just, you know, I get anxiety just from her going from home to work. You know what I mean? and I'm on a location every day. I'm checking a location. For my son, who's younger, he's growing up in a world that's totally different from the world that she grew up in, right? Just because 15 years ago, when she was his age, the world was totally different. And I remember taking her to see Inside Out 1 when that came out in like 2015 or whatever it was. And I just remember how different the world was then. And he wants to see Inside Out 2 now. And it's hard to trust people. Like, he's at the age where he's asking to have sleepovers, and I'm like, oh nah, we're not doing that. Like, we don't.
Right.
You can have some friends come over here, and you know what I mean. Like, you can even go over some friend's house while mom and dad are there, but we ain't doing no sleepovers. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't quite understand that.
Right.
And they're so innocent, and they're so just green to the world, man. And it's sad that it has to be like this, that we have to have, so many experiences in our lives that impact the way that they grow up, right? My wife will tell you, like, when she was in elementary school, one of her teachers had a sleepover one time, and she went over to one of her teacher's house for a sleepover, and like there was like other kids there, like, and they just, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if she spent the night or her mom came and got her. I can't remember. She probably gonna tell me as soon as we get off of this joint, but I think she ended up going home. I can't remember, but you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine in 2024, like a teacher having a sleepover at their crib, like
crazy,
what?
Crazy.
Like,
you're immediately fired.
Right, but in the 80s, man, anything went. Like, there was no rules in the 80s. Like, you ain't went on seatbelt. You could drink and drive. You was smoking on the airplane. Like, one of rules in the 80s, man. Now, we're just more cautious and more aware. And it's just harder. It's harder, and it sucks that the kids have to, kind of suffer and not have the childhoods that we had. But you got to protect the babies, man. I'm just, whatever is protective of my kids, I'm gonna do it.
Right. And I feel the same way. Like, and it's tough, and super vet with the kids spaced out so different, 21, 14, and 4.
Right. Insane.
But what you do see is the difference of the environment that these children are being raised in now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's completely different for the 14-year-old than it was at 21. And it's completely different now for the 4-year-old than it was the 14-year-old. And the only thing that I see, and this is, to what everybody's saying, as far as like, I don't let my child out of my sight, and then, no sleepovers, and you're not going and they ain't coming. The only thing I do really see the biggest change in is the lockdown of the kids' ability to be out. Whereas we were just told, be back by this time. And it's
ain't no riding no bikes. Ain't no coming back when
Yeah, we were gone. Once that door shut, we were told, don't open that door back up. And we was just out there.
Don't be coming in out of my house, all that ripping and running.
That is the biggest difference that I see from, the generations gaps that my kids have. And it is scary, because the more we see of these people who do certain things and violate children's trust and things like that, it starts to trigger some of the things that we thought were normal, which we were violated, and our trust was tattered and torn from adults. You know what I'm saying? And it's tough. It really is tough. It really is. D, something I wanted to ask you, man, and even myself, I had to go through it, is the fighting for your rights in your custody battles and things like that, where, it intentionally, sometimes, at least it feels intentional, that they just wear you out.
That's a fact.
Yeah. What words of encouragement, or what words would you have for a young dad? Because I remember I started that battle at age 21, where it's like, that's crazy. 21, 22.
Right.
What young words would you give to a young father who is going through that, and maybe he's like, man, my money's drying up, or things, it ain't looking good? What words of encouragement would you give him?
The old folks used to say back in the day, there's an old gospel Negro spiritual that says trouble don't last always, right? And that is something that I had to take with me. You said 21, I started my plight to to be a part of my daughter's life at the age of 23. December of 2004 was when I filed my first paperwork to have joint custody of my daughter. That dream wasn't achieved until maybe 14 years later. Right? It's a journey that you're going to be on, and the systems that are out there, they're not built for us, right? They're not built for dads. They're not, the laws have lightened up over the years since I was going through my situation, but it's still not easy. It's easier for a dad to go in and relinquish custody of his child or relinquish his parental rights than it is for him to go in and say, I want to have 50-50 custody, just 50-50. Like, I don't want an extra. I don't want no extra cheese. I don't want no, I just want 50-50. Just give me some plain fried rice. That's all I want. It's easier for a dad to give up than it is for him to go do that. But it's worth it. Right. It is worth it in the long run. And I realized how much worth it was when, my situation, of course, a lot of people know that I moved from Virginia down here to Raleigh. And the main reason that I moved was so I could be closer to my daughter, because this is where she was living. I realized, the fruits of my labor on the day that I took her to college and dropped her off at North Carolina A&T for the first time. And as I walked away from her at that dorm after we got her everything, and I walked away and, shared tears, I cried for 3 days. I realized at that time that my work wasn't in vain, and that everything, every fight, every judge that I stood in front of, every, child abuse allegation that I had to fight off, every, a time that the police was falsely called against me and I was falsely accused of doing that, all of it ended up being worth it. It all was worth it because I could say that I got my daughter to the finish line, right? And that is something that, as a man and as a father, it almost completes you, right? Because you know that your work wasn't in vain. Like, that even when the odds were against you, and there was times when you felt like you didn't have anything left to give, you did everything you could for your kids. Yeah. And for me, that's really that's all that's ever mattered.
Yeah. I also had a older guy who went through it. He had a previous wife. Matter of fact, I can say his name. He don't mind me telling the story. My friend Art. You remember Art? So my friend Art was married before, had 3 children with his ex-wife, which, when he finally told me was when I was going through the stuff I was going through. And the one thing he said was, as long as you're consistent and as long as you're there and the door's open, they're going to always come back. And like, at that time, I didn't think, I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, man, I'm telling you, your kids are always going to come back. They're going to ask questions. They're going to want to know the truth. And I'll never forget the first time I got a text message of, Dad, I just want to talk to you. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Like, now you want to hear the other side. You know what I'm saying? And, so I agree. Like, even if you can't be 100% hands-on, find a way to allow your children to know that that door is open when they're ready to talk, when they're ready to, voice however they feel. Because the one thing I did tell my oldest, I don't care how it comes out. You can be mad or whatever, let it out. And then we're going to sit down and talk about it, because I'm sure there are missing pieces to the conversation. And so for those young dads, make sure you hold on to your memories and things like that. Create memories if you can. And then also, be ready for those conversations, because there's another half that may not be discussing things the same way.
Sure. And one thing that I did, Block, what I encourage brothers to do, man, during that time, I was big on journaling. So I have a journal that is written to my daughter, that she doesn't even know about. She'll know about it if she ever watches this, but it is in a place where she can't find it. And for me, it's if anything were to ever happen to me, she would always know my side of the story. And I don't even, you know, I don't know how that looks now that, you know, we've kind of, you know, her mom and I've kind of reconciled over the years, and I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? The conversation isn't it's not a conversation anymore of like, I have to fight to see her. I mean, she's 20 at this point. I don't know, but if there's ever a time where she wants to know, like you said, my side of the story, and you know, over time you forget things become a blur. I have probably from the time she was maybe 2 or 3, I think I might have stopped when she was 13. I think the last thing that I wrote to her was like right before my son was born. So 13, 14 maybe. No, my daughter was in high school, so probably 14, 15. So a good amount of time worth of journal entries where I'm just talking to her and, you know, just laying out everything that I was going through at the time, my feelings, my emotions, what happened in court, what, you know, I lost my job this time. You know what I mean? Like everything. So I always wrote it from the perspective of like, if there's ever like going to be a movie made about my life, like I want my daughter to know what's factual. And it's all in this journal.
Yeah. So then some of the things that you were going through, if you can talk about it, because like I said, I try to help the younger dads, guys that are our age. You can have, you know, a little bit more experienced conversation with, but the younger guys they get in their emotions quick. And that's one of the things that I, you know, used to tell younger guys, like, got to understand the court is not about emotions. Like when you get in there, it gets real cut and dry for you real quick. Your tears don't mean much in there. Right. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. So what was the communication that you had with yourself, or who did you confide in? Did you get somebody that you could talk to? Because, you know, the one thing I do see is that a lot of these young brothers do want to be dads, but they do get to points where they feel like there's a roadblock. I'm tired. And I don't feel like doing this no more. Because, you know, going into the courtroom, a lot of times it's just you and the lawyer. And if you ain't got money for a lawyer, it's just you. So, yeah. So, you know, what were some of the emotions that you trusted with other people, I guess, to find that vulnerable space that we've been talking about to actually be able to keep your head during this time?
Well, you know, at that time, man, you know, therapy wasn't cool as it is now, right? So I didn't have any professional help. I didn't really have a lot of men in my corner who went through similar experiences. Because to be quite honest, like I was ready to fight to the death. Like I was like, we gonna go like like literally for the first 6 years of my daughter's life, we were in court every summer. And you don't find a lot of men, particularly older than us, who are willing to fight that fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there was never any sort of example. There was never any sort of blueprint of anybody that I knew of who had went through this experience the way that I went through it. And I went through it balls to the wall. Like, I'm gonna do everything that I can do, every chance I can get, fight every fight I can fight. I'm talking private investigators. I'm talking tens of thousands of dollars in lawyer fees. I'm talking you name it. Like we gonna go head up. So I didn't really have anybody to confide in, right? Aside from people who were of like my age, like, you know, my best friend who, you know, again, we in our 20s at the time. So, you know, that's basically like talking to myself, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I think now that we're in a space where, you know, it's cool for Black men to go to therapy and to get help and to talk these things out. I would suggest that any young brother that's going through it, look into therapy, look into finding a mentor or someone who to talk through these things with, because there are many brothers like me and you, Block, who are living testimonies of what this thing really looks like, right? And, you know, at 21, 14, and 4, you have a range of experience in just in fatherhood in general, right?
I'm a paralegal at this, baby. Just tell me I can file, how to file it, when to file it.
Yeah, like I know, you know, I can tell you how to go down there and file your paperwork, you know, what motion to file, like what, you know what I'm saying? Like all that. Get your guardian ad litem. Like I could give you the game if you need to. But I can also have a conversation about the emotional side of things. And I think, a big part of that contributed to me being depressed in my 20s, right?
Yeah, man.
It contributed to me not necessarily trusting people in my 20s, because I'm like, how could you do this to me? Like I'm somebody who's doing everything that I possibly can to be a part of my daughter's life.
Right.
Whereas, you got a deadbeat, and the deadbeat, you won't give him no smoke. Like he don't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that had a huge effect on my life in terms of mental health and me developing honestly depression and anxiety through my early 20s. Like when I look back and this is something I've worked through with my therapist. There are events that have happened in my 20s, like certain traumas that have really affected me, right? And that being one of them, not being able to be not even a full-time parent, right? But not even being a 50% parent in those early years. And having somebody question your character. You know what I'm saying? Somebody question to say like, oh, well, you don't even deserve to spend a month in the summer with your child. Like you don't deserve that. Like you're but I'm her dad though. Like
right.
What do you mean? Like what do you mean? That's my baby. Like what are you talking about? You know what I mean? So I, for me, I think that the mental health aspect of it is real, and oftentimes we don't take that into consideration when we look at a lot of the trauma that comes with relationships and having kids with people and being in these situations. Like it's heavy. Like it's so much more that's attached to it. Like you're not just we heard people talk about soul ties and things like that. But there's a certain emotional attachment that comes with having a child with someone, whether you're married to them or not, but having a child with someone, and you all not agreeing on how that child should be raised when it comes to how much time you should spend with the child.
So
go ahead. No, go.
Well, this was going to be something, and it might have to be a part 2 because I have like 3 different questions for both of you. But they're all around the same thing. And well, and Dion, you kind of touched on a little bit, like you said, especially when you're talking about someone that you've had a child with, and then the connection and the emotions and everything like that is there, and then dealing with the separation. So my first question is for fathers who are trying to get back into the dating game, but they're dealing with all of this. What advice would you have for them?
Don't do it. Don't get back into the dating game. Like it's just being honest. Until you have that situated, it's always going to be something, a stronghold attached to the trauma, and you will not be able to release that stronghold until you tend to your business. Once you tend to your business and whatever custody is established and whatever child support is paid, and then that emotional tie away from that woman is cemented, where I'm here for my child, I'm not here for you. If you can't do those type of things, and there's not a clear cut in the line in the sand, a clear line in the sand, you're not ready to deal with somebody else, because all that pulls emotion. And all that pulls feelings and time and so then you don't really have time to necessarily pour into a new relationship because you haven't severed those ties from the previous one.
Yeah, and you don't want to bring somebody else into that mess. Like you don't want to bring, say you do find a woman who is all the things that you're looking for and has all, you don't want to bring her into that. It's just too much. Like it's really too much. Like Block said, like until you cement like what's going on and y'all got things in place, don't bring nobody else into that. Like
it is the underbelly of. I tell people all the time, like some of my darkest days. I wish somebody would have promoted therapy. Some of my darkest days was going to that courthouse by myself, and especially when the room is loaded. She got her attorney, you know, the judge is already on her side. People are already looking at you like you don't belong there. Like you talk about high anxiety. And then in Pittsburgh, D, they got the jail cells still up in the lobby because the family courthouse is a former jail. So as soon as you walk in and you come through the walkie-talkies, they got the old cells still sitting there. So it's already intimidating with police.
Just in case.
There. Yeah, just in case.
Like,
and it's
want to
like,
act up. This
yeah, it's like, yo, what am I stepping into? So now imagine going to court, dealing with all that, and then now try to come and handle a relationship.
Right.
There's no way. You can fake it, but then the moment y'all have a disagreement or something like that, all that rage from this situation is going to pour into a current situation. So I would advise against it.
And as men, we don't do the best job of expressing our feelings. So, you know, coming out of that courthouse or coming out of that situation, and you're, you know, the woman that you're dating is, hey, babe, how was your day? How did it go? Oh, he was all right. You know what I mean? So you just gonna bottle up a lot of those emotions, and it's just too much, man.
It's messy.
Yeah, it is.
So then, with that being said, what advice do you give to a woman who is in the situation with someone and it's an ongoing battle where he's experiencing that with the mother of his children?
Dump him.
Yeah, urge him to handle that situation, and then I'll be a friend from afar.
Yeah, dump him.
Like do not go into that world with him. Like that whole Megan Good, I'm gonna go to court with you, like she did with
you
dude.
Will not let her live.
That is the dumbest shit in the world. You had a pastor that had no issues, no problems, and you jumped to this dude that got to go to court for beating women.
They said they're in love.
Yeah, I understand, but I'll love you when it's done. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if I'm here for you, I'm here for you. But what I can't do is get the false narrative of, now that we're in this relationship, that I have a role to help you with this, because there's nothing that a person who's not in it can do.
Right.
You can't. So at some courts, you can't even show up with him. Like he's by himself. So it's better to just love from afar, be there at the capacity that you can be there, like as a woman or whatever, you know, I ain't judging who you love, but just be there in that capacity for them when they come back. But don't indulge and get into the, well, she should, and I'm gonna write this, and then we should, and I talk to his lawyer.
Dump him.
Don't get into that shit, man.
I know that's right.
That shit is messy.
And then my final question is, we are at the top of the hour, and I don't want to take everyone's time. Being girl dads, and then being men yourself and having male friends and seeing how people out here operate, how do y'all navigate them wanting to date and get into relationships with guys?
Dump them.
So mine will tell you, why do you say all men are terrible? Because I'm a man. They're all terrible. I'm just letting you know that now.
Okay.
And just being honest. But on the flip side is just communicate with me. Talk to me. And I'll be fair. I'll let everybody can get their heart broken and all that stuff. I'll be fair. But when we start getting to the nitty gritty of people who you think you want to share yourself with, physically or move in and all that, talk to Pops. I'll let you know, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, and luckily my oldest is starting to do that. You know what I'm saying? And she laughs because she knows I'm like, D, you don't need them because you're so young. I would rather see my daughters live and experience life, have friends, do the whole Lori Harvey thing.
Yes, honey.
Enjoy yourself, because there's plenty of time for the weight of a relationship.
Come and travel with Auntie, honey. We're gonna have a good time.
There's
good time.
Plenty of time for that. I don't know if you feel the same way, D. I just feel you got a whole lot of time. Don't waste your 20s like I did. My 20s was spent in and out of court, trying to situate things for kids and that. Man, if I go back now, man, at 20, 21, come on, man. I want you to enjoy life.
Yeah. And, I'm at that point now where, I really just, I'm trying to impart on my daughter the importance of like things like traveling and things like experiencing the world. I was fortunate enough in my 20s, even though I was in and out of court, I was also kind of moving and shaking. You know what I'm saying? Like my 20s was lit. when it came to like being outside. Like I'm at the MTV Awards, I'm at the BET Awards, I'm at the All-Star Weekend. I'm doing all of these things, even though I'm, fighting these cases for my daughter. But at the same time, I'm depressed. Right. And that's something that I didn't realize until I was in my 40s that, okay, you were at all of these events and you were doing all of these things, but you were depressed. And the reason I was depressed is because what? I'm going to court. I'm having to fight for my child. I'm having to do all of these things. And it's something that I want her to understand that, again, like you said, Block, you don't have to be tied down to nothing or nobody. If it don't suit you, if a nigga breathe wrong, dump him.
Get rid of him.
If he breathe wrong, you hear me? If he snore in his sleep too loud, dump him.
Get rid of him. Yeah.
I had a talk with my daughter last year, her freshman year. I said, yo, you got to realize there's one thing that I want you to understand. In any relationship that you're in, whether it be romantic, whether it be friendship, whether it be work, you are the prize. Anybody who comes into your life, they are privileged to have you as a part of their life. They have to work to keep you in their life. So if a nigga ain't doing that, dump him. You hear me?
Raps.
You gotta go. Yeah, and that's really my approach.
Yeah.
Yes. And once again, come travel with Auntie. We have a good time, honey.
Yeah,
a good time.
Can be everywhere.
Pablo Escobar keeps her going.
You already know.
But no, man. So we at the top of the hour, and so we're about to close things down. But any final words to the brothers out there, D, that you got to just keep their head up or whatever, anything that you got just to close out the show, man, just for Men's Mental Health Month.
Take care of your babies, man. That's it. Like, take care of your babies, take care of yourself. And we gotta do a better job of taking care of each other. I think everyone should know that we gotta love each other. We gotta take care of each other because ain't nobody coming to save us. So we gotta take care of ourselves. We gotta take care of each other, but most importantly, we gotta take care of these babies.
Amen. And that's it. So this was a good show for me.
It was. It was.
Once again,
and I hope y'all continue
with the
conversation. I really do.
Oh, hope we continue with the conversation?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Like, don't make this a
just
June.
Just for Men's Month.
Yeah, but
then when it's over, man, the hell with them niggas.
Right. Right. But
get it how you live, cuz. No. That my thing is to continue to create the safe space where brothers will feel more comfortable with the network of people that we've been showing, like Dion, like James, where you might feel it might not be me, the same way I did my coaching staff. I might not be the one the kids come to, but out of one of these 8 men, somebody will fit your personality to where you can, have that conversation in that safe space to help you out. And that's what I want us to continue to do.
And thank you to the men watching and jumping in on the conversation because you didn't have to. So
absolutely, yeah. We thank y'all, and then also make sure anybody who watches the replay of this, please go back and watch the replay with Liana, and then go back and watch the replay with James Perkins,
who will be here tomorrow.
James will be here tomorrow, and we should have our attorney on Thursday to talk about some of the things that Dion and I were talking about in more specific detail about how you accomplish establishing your rights and things like that. So we got a lot more packed for you this week. Make sure you tune in and keep listening to TDS Radio. Keep supporting. Make sure you just hit the like and the share. It don't hurt you. The button is right there. Do what you need to do. And God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. This is TDS Radio, our voice, our culture. Peace. All right, hold on. Awkward.